Yes guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. I know I've been away for a while. I kind of just got bored of doing the same content over and over again, so I was just kind of waiting for football to get back. But we are back and we're going to start smashing out the content now as Spurs return tomorrow against Man United, 8:15, Friday the 19th of June. It's been 100 days since the football stopped, and I tell you what, I kind of was looking forward to it and I'm not at the same time. I've gone through this all before. I mean, we've got all our players back now, but are they really going to play well? Who knows? Point of today is we're going to be predicting the results for our remaining fixtures. We have 9 games left, that being Man United, West Ham, Sheffield United, Everton, Bournemouth, Arsenal, Newcastle, Leicester, and finally Crystal Palace. Now, I just want to quickly say we are so close to 50,000 subscribers. I believe we're 1,000 away, which is absolutely mental. So if you could, leave a like on the video because that helps this video get traction and get sent out to as many people as possible. Also, subscribe down below. Turn that red subscribe button grey. No one wants to see it red. If you're a true Spurs fan, you do not want to see that button red. And make sure to turn notification bell on because YouTube is telling me, I can't believe I'm even saying this, that 80% of you watching the videos, 80% are not subscribed. So let's try and get that down to 50-50. If you're watching this right now, please press that subscribe button. As well as that, I started a brand new channel, which I have been posting a lot of content on like twice a week. It's been insane, and that's Offsiders. That's with 5 other football YouTubers. Amazing football content. I'll leave the link in the description below. Please check it out because that is some exciting, very exciting football content that I'm doing away from the Spurs stuff. But anyway, let's get into the prediction. Obviously, we all know the first game is Tottenham versus Man United at home. It's tomorrow, 8:15 in the evening. I will be live streaming it on my channel. So if you're watching this right now and it's before the game, make sure to turn the notification bell on because I will be doing a live stream of the game. I know we've got our full team back, but I do think Man United are in almost the exact same situation we are in. Very similar points. They've got Pogba returning, they've got a few injuries coming back. I'm a bit worried that we're just going to go way too defensive, and you can quote me on this if this even happens. If we end up going too defensive, I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw. I'm trying to be as optimistic as possible, but it's just that both teams have had pretty rubbish years, and after seeing what we did against Norwich and Burnley, I'm not too confident at all, to be honest with you. So I'm going to go for 2-2. I don't think we'll lose, but I can't really see us getting a win either. On to the next one, and it is the first London derby of these fixtures. It is West Ham at home, which I believe we're playing on Tuesday. This one, I feel like we're going to get a win because we all know it's their cup final. It's the only game they look forward to playing every year, and since they don't have the fans behind them to cheer them on in these away ends, they're not really going to have that much to fight for. I feel like a club like West Ham is very much more about the fans, if anything else. And since they haven't got their away fans there, like they did at the end of last season when they beat us, it's just purely going to be down to the football in that sense. And I think we've got a much better team than West Ham, considering they were near relegation early in the season. I think are still pretty close anyway. But at the end of the day, we all know that they love to play this fixture. It's the only one they ever look forward to throughout the year. So I think they'll still nick a goal. Antonio seems to score against us every single game he plays. So I'm going to go for a Spurs 2-1 victory against West Ham. Then the following Thursday, we are playing Sheffield United away, a team that has pretty much shocked everyone this year because, you know, it's a team coming up from the Championship. We don't know how well they would be doing. They haven't been in the Premier League for a long time, yet they seem to be smashing it. They're 2 points above us, and they've got probably one of the best defenses in the league. I think probably only Liverpool has a better defense. Obviously, since we're playing them away, it means it's going to be a lot harder to score because they're going to be used to the home ground and that. So we managed to draw against them at home. That was when I was on my flight back from Australia, remember that. But I do feel like with a full strength squad and hopefully with Ndombele at his peak fitness and, you know, not lounging about, I do think we can beat Sheffield United away. But it's going to be another very close game, and I'm saying 1-0 Spurs. Their conversion rate doesn't seem to be that great, so I don't pick them to score many goals, but their defense is so good, it's going to be hard for us to score as well. That's why I'm only saying 1-0. Then we have Everton at home, a team I think we do fairly well against. We did draw against them in our stadium at the end of the last season, but the season was pretty much done. I don't think it really mattered what happened in that game. As long as we didn't lose, I think this year Everton have struggled quite a fair bit. Obviously, they've got a great manager now in Ancelotti, and I think they've got a few very good players. Obviously, Richarlison's one. Calvert-Lewin seems to be growing into his own up front as well. However, I do think that we are a much better side than Everton right now, even in our down period, so to speak. So playing them at home as well with the lack of fans, I'm gonna say a 2-0 Spurs win against Everton. The next game is probably the one game a year I cannot get a ticket to because their allocation is so small, and that is Bournemouth away. I've been traveling with Spurs since I was like 8 years old, pretty much, and I still don't have enough points to get the Bournemouth game. You have to not even be in the top 1%. You have to be in like the top like 0.1% to get an away ticket for the Bournemouth game. So there's one game I'd love to go to. Historically, I think we do pretty well against. They're in that relegation scrap. That's going to be the main issue though. The main issue is that they're going to be in the relegation battle, so they're going to have to be fighting for every single point. However, I know Son likes to do well against Bournemouth. As long as we keep fit, I think this will be a fairly easy victory. It's the only game left, I think, that will get a few goals in, so I'm going to go for a 3-1 win. We'll still concede. We're away. They've got a couple of good players. I know we're going to be taking Fraser off their hands in the summer. That'll be nice. But yeah, I'll say a 3-1 Spurs win. Next up is the North London derby, the first North London derby in our new stadium, and it's sadly going to be played without fans. I couldn't imagine anything worse for the first North London derby, and it's a shame that we're not going to be able to be there, because I do think that if we had the fans in that ground, would finally have that really big atmosphere that we've been looking for in the Spurs Stadium. Since we've moved to the new ground, we very rarely had an extremely loud atmosphere at the home ground. Not like we used to have at White Hart Lane when we played the big games. It started off a bit at Chelsea, but then we were playing poorly and it dropped off very quickly. And there's been plenty of games like that as well. Probably the best was Man City and Burnley, but that's because they were two very good results. We don't seem to have that in a game regardless of the result, which is a shame to see. So I'm annoyed there aren't going to be fans. However, I've just seen that yesterday that Arsenal got spanked 3-0 by Man City. I hope David Luiz is playing against us. But no, on the real, I think we can actually win this one. Arsenal haven't won against the top 6 in 25 games. They haven't won a single one in 25. So we can't ruin that now. We have to win, but as pretty much all Spurs games do, it's going to be close regardless, and I'm going to say a very typical result for this fixture, and I'm going for a 2-1 Spurs win. The third final game is Newcastle away, a fixture I love because Newcastle is a great night out. I wish I was going to this fixture, especially because it'd be near the summer. It would be a class game to go watch. Newcastle away, I hate the walk up to the away end. I think it's one of the only grounds in the UK that's like, you have to go travel like ridiculously high to go watch the game. But again, another fixture we do pretty well in, except for obviously the home fixture at the start of the season. That was just like a massive blip. I was at Cyprus at the time. It was one of the first games. I think it was our first home game, right? Yeah, we made a huge defensive error, which cost us a goal and cost us the game massively. However, I do think we'll redeem ourselves going forward because one, they've got this whole takeover business going on. Their strikers aren't really converting goals that many. I love St. Maximin, especially as a person. I think he's a very funny guy on Twitter, and I do think he's a decent player. However, none of their forwards, Joe Linton himself, Almiron, they haven't really scored that many goals between them, which is really bad for a striker partnership. For this one, it's going to be a Spurs 2-0 win away. Now on to the second from last game, the penultimate game, and it is our final home match of the season, and that is against Leicester City. Now we've had some exciting final games against Leicester. One being an absolute battering away, the other being a very exciting game going back and forth between them. I believe at Wembley, and yeah, managed to win that one but that was a bit of a scary game. Did my heart in, I can't lie, it did my heart in. But this time it's a little bit more different. They are fully fighting for that Champions League spot. They're currently holding down third. However, by this point, it could be a lot closer between the two clubs and the other surrounding clubs looking to get those Champions League spots. So I think they're going to be fighting a lot harder for it. I think we obviously have to fight hard for it. By this point, we could be 1 or 2 points away from getting Champions League football. Well, with the way my predictions are going, we should theoretically be. However, Leicester have been a very tricky team this season. If Barnes performs well, if Vardy performs well, I think it's going to be a tough game. So I'm going to be predicting a 2-2 draw to close out our final home game of the season. Now, finally, the final game of the season is Crystal Palace away. And I know we've mucked it up before. We've also managed to just clinch winners. However, this year I think it should theoretically be an easy win, right? And would like to close out the season with the 3 points, and hopefully meaning that we get Champions League football by that point. So I think for my prediction, I'm going to go with yet another 2-0 Spurs win to close it all out. So just a quick recap. I said that the Man United game was going to be 2-2. West Ham, we're going to win 2-1. Sheffield, I said we're going to win 1-0. Everton, I think I said we're going to win 2-0. Even I can't remember. Bournemouth, a 3-1 win. Arsenal, a 2-1 win. Newcastle away, I believe I said 2-0. Leicester, 2-2. And finally, Crystal Palace, I think it's going to be 2-0. There's a lot of wins there and not any losses, because realistically, if we do want to compete for the Champions League and actually be deserving of the Champions League, those are the results we're going to need from the remaining 9 fixtures. That's a lot of points. I think that's me being pretty optimistic, to be honest with you, but leave a comment down below what you think of my predictions of our remaining fixtures. I'm very interested to see what you guys think down below. Make sure to leave a like I said, subscribe, turn that red button grey. We don't want to see that red on this channel. We are very close to 50k subscribers. And as well as that, I will be live streaming the game against Man United and every Spurs game going forward. So make sure to turn the notification bell on. 80% of you aren't subscribed, which is a disgrace. Help your boy out, and I shall see you guys tomorrow for the game. Peace.
No, there ain't no stopping us. Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I'll be moving fast. Call me a shooting star.